Hello everybody, I am Ragavesh. Welcome to Microsoft Word training video. This video considered to be intermediate stage training. I am going to use the previous document which I used in my earlier video, whereas the content which we are going to discuss in this video is nothing but how to provide indent and tab, line and paragraph spacing, working with the bullet points and the list, and how to provide multi-column in the text, how to add a section break and the page break as well, and how to provide the hyperlink and the basic drawing and endnote and footnote. If you want to provide indent, you have to use the rulers here. You can turn on the ruler from the view, the ruler, and if you want to provide a space in the beginning of the paragraph, generally we use a space bar, which we suppose not to do it again. We have to use a tabs. And if you want to increase the space in this area, like indent, if you want to increase it, you can also use this option, increase indent. You can see the overall space between the margin and it increases, and also you can decrease the indent by using this option. Regarding the line spacing, you can select a paragraph or just select paragraph, and you can see here the line spacing set as a multiple, and whatever values you want you can set it here, line spacing, and give OK. But there are some shortcuts here, the default line spacing options. You can also select from here, and you can also get this option from line spacing options, the same window which get paragraph. And if you want to see here, there is a minimum space between these two paragraphs. If you want to edit this option, you have to just go to paragraph. You can see here paragraph spacing, like after first paragraph this is space. If you want to change it, for example spacing between these, then you have to edit option for the first paragraph. So if you reduce it to 0, you can see there is no space, there is only the line spacing, there is no paragraph spacing. So sometimes it's good to have a paragraph spacing. That means you can mention it as a 10 or 12 point. Even you have an option to leave the space before and after the paragraph. So up to you to decide upon the spacing and also the line spacing. Both will help to structure the document nicely. You can see here now, whenever we have a enter key, which will consider as a one paragraph. That's why there is a spacing between the paragraph. Well, now you want to insert maybe a points, bullet points, and you can just select the text and you can insert it. Or if you want to have as a numbering, it's possible. Sometimes if you copy this value or the numbering, and if you paste it somewhere, you can see this numbering will be new. If you want to change it, again right click on this numbering, you can say continue with the previous numbering, which is possible. Or if you want to commence with the new one, you can say restart at 1. If you feel you want to decrease the indent here, that means you want to start the points to occur from this area, so you can also use these options, increase or decrease indent. Next we are going to discuss about the break, that means how to insert a section break and what's the use of that. For example, in this part of text you want to keep it as a as such, that means as a single column, whereas from this part of text you want to make it as a 2 column of the entire document or whatever it is, or you want to make from here to here, you want to make it, let us say, 2 columns up to this point. Okay, so what we have to do is we have to insert a section breaks. You can see here break, section break, continuous, and next page. The next page section break will be useful for inserting the page number. Like some cases you will have a page numbers with the Roman letters and then maybe numericals, such kind of things. We have to use the section break as a next page, whereas in this case we have to use it as a continuous, and we insert a break here. You can't see the break in a print layout, and over here again we have to insert a section break. How can you see whether the breaks are inserted or not? You can choose here the status, right click, you can turn on the options section. You can see here now this is shown as a section 3, whereas this one is section 2, and over here is section 1. Now if you want to make only section 2 as a 2 column, then just two columns. You can see only this section will convert into 2 column. Without inserting section break, if you try to convert it, the entire document will change and it will be difficult to format it. So always whenever you want to format 2 column, we must insert a section break and then we have to convert into 2 column. And I'll just undo this. The next one is about adding a page break. As I mentioned earlier, you can always insert a page break, and there is one more is there as a section break. Next page, you can see this option, section break, next page. So if I insert here a section break with the next page, you can see now this is section 2, section 2, this is section 1. Okay, so we have only 2 pages in this document. Now if you want to insert a page number, okay, let us insert a page number now. You can see here clearly it shows footer for section 1, footer for section 2. In case we have many pages in section 1, I just keep inserting the page break. That means I'm creating only the empty pages. You can see here this is our section 1, this is our section 2. This is our section 1. Up to this is a section 1 and this is section 2. Whereas if you see the page numbers now, the page numbers are continuous. Okay, assume that you want to insert a page number here in a Roman letters up to section 1, and you want to start the page numbers in a numerals from section 2 onwards. Okay, so how it can be done? First thing is you have to insert properly the section break and go to the section which you want to start different page numbers. For example, this is a place, is a section 1, is a transition to section 2. You can see the option here same as the previous. It's like a chain. Each page numbers are linked with another page. If you want to give a different format or different page numbers, you have to delink this option. That means just double click on this area, you will enter into the footer section, and then you can see this option link to previous, that has to be detached. And you can see this option has been removed now. And then right click on this page number and say format page numbers. You can see continue from the previous section. Now we have to change to start at and say start at 1 and say OK. And you can see now section 2 is having page number from 1 and section 1 is up to 1 to 5. If you want to change this as a Roman letters, as I mentioned again, right click, format page numbers, change this one to Roman letters and say OK. Same way, if you want to insert different heading for the section 1 and section 2, the same concept you have to apply. You can see over here, same as the previous. Whatever I give here, that means I say here now chapter 1. The same chapter 1 will appear on the section 1 also. Whereas if you want to say here chapter 1 and in section 1 you want to give some other heading, then you have to delink. Now headers also delinked and the footer also delinked. So once you delink, you can go to the section 1. You can say this is introduction, this is chapter 1. So what you see at the end here now, so there is an introduction and it's a chapter 1. And also the page numbers you can see here. There's a Roman letters over here and say numerals. So this is how you can use section break to separate the document into various sections, and also insert the different page numbers, different headers. Not only that, if you want to change the orientation of the document, for example, over here is portrait, and if you want to change to landscape, again you have to insert a break and change the page layout into whichever orientation you want. The next one I want to discuss about the hyperlink. For example, you keep typing the document and you want to give a hyperlink to this particular word. Just select the word, say right click and say hyperlink. And if you want to use the web page to open this, you want to link a web page or you want to link to another document, everything is possible here. So I just gave to a test java.com. I say OK now. So if you click on using control and the click, you can see this web page will open. So this is how you can provide a hyperlink. With this we finish the intermediate section. We will see more features in our advanced section. Thanks for watching.